Because as I said, and also as Ramana Maharishi said, silence is silence. We are the silence. And the silence recognizes the silence. This is so, and we know it, more or less. But for us, humans, if it's not obvious, and we know if it's obvious or not, there is also question and answers. But the question and answers, they serve only the purpose to recognize who we are. So if you find yourself or your mind, you know, like walking around some things in this subject, or you see the points which are, yeah, a little bit uncertain or unraveled, satsang is for that, to make it clear for you. So maybe if somebody would like to share, you know, it's all about our freedom, meaning that the opportunity to be free is in every second of our life, and now we have the time dedicated for that. This is the time which we dedicate for our freedom, because when we are busy with our lives home, not always there is enough strength for that, and you might find that you don't see this capacity in yourself. But now all the circumstances are for that, made for that, for our inner discovery and making doubt no more about this subject. Because also it's funny, because I mean, some of you I know are for a while in satsang, some of you maybe are not so long. It's, yeah, we have to find this key. Sometimes the key is a question which reveals the openness in us. So you have to give me some food for that. How are you? Yeah. You feel clear with this or confused? The microphone.
I'm not that comfortable in speaking in a group. So you asked me. I'm sorry. I don't think I heard what you asked me.
Are you, I mean, how are you feeling in satsang in general? How are you finding it?
I'm feeling shy right now.
Yeah, but this is just, this is the surface. It's okay. Like when I speak with your deepest intelligence, because actually we are communicating in this deepest intelligence in the life. So can you relate to these things which are pointed here?
Yes.
Yes. And you find it easy, or you find some spots which are still blind spot for you? Because satsang, I mean, why are we here? We are here to discover what is our blind spot still,
yes.
To have the sky completely open. This is the purpose of this meeting. If you see the blind spot,
I'm sure that there's a blind spot, if not more than one.
But you know what it is, or
no, I don't think so.
So you are more just open into hearing what's
Yes.
happening.
But there is a sense that something is maybe not hearing you completely, or holding back, or I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But since it has not been seen fully, something must.
So if you go to this this wave of not understanding fully or not receiving fully, if we speak with this for a moment, what it wants or what it has to say, this part of yourself, which is like not fully taking. What is this?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of a sense that there's something I cannot see. It's not. It doesn't sound right when I say it. It seems unclear.
So where is this unclarity? To make it clear, we have to first see what it is. So what do you want? What do you want from this meeting?
By coming here, I want to see clearly. I wish to be free of myself, from myself.
So what's stopping you from this clarity?
I just keep going back to this sense of being Tanya.
Being?
That's my name. Being a person.
Yeah. And how would you like to be free from that? Because you know well the sense of the person. No, you know it quite, the sense of
I know
person.
that very well. Yes.
You know that. And how we can be free from that? How can we be free from this sense of person?
I don't know how I can be free from believing that I am that.
Okay. Okay, so let's try one investigation. So do you feel a sense of person right now? If anybody can relate to it, just do it with us. Do you feel a sense of person at the moment? And how do you feel it, if you feel it?
Well, yes, because what I call my person, it would be the sense of my body right now. It's my feelings, my thoughts.
Yes. And you want to be free from that, yes? Or not take it seriously, or what?
It's when I believe that's
it's
all
you.
I am. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I know what you mean. So you perceive something right now, which is feelings, thoughts, and body. Let's call it this way. You perceive this.
Yes.
And you have the sense it is you. You have the belief it is you. Something like that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's all of us in this room experience that what you are saying. So there is a feeling, there is a feelings, there are feelings, there are thoughts, and there is a bodily feeling, sensation. And can you all guys feel it, what I'm talking about now? So this is here. This is here in my hands. Can you perceive it still? the sense, yeah, the feeling, the thoughts, the body sensation. It is here. It is sensed, it is perceived, it is seen, and it is felt. By what?
By me.
It is felt by you, and this you is where?
Here.
Here.
Yes.
So, feelings, sensation, thoughts, and body are felt by you, which is here.
Yes.
What is the shape of you?
There's no shape.
This doesn't have a shape, yeah. There is no shape. Can you see it?
No.
You cannot see it. It doesn't have a shape and you cannot see it. Can it not be here?
No.
It is here.
Yes.
Does it have a beginning?
No.
No. So, this thing, feelings, perceptions, body sensations, is felt by you, which is not shape, has no beginning, and has no end.
Mm.
And it's simultaneous, no? This is happening, this,
Yes.
and this.
Yes.
But somehow this sometimes feels very real.
Mm. Exactly.
So at the moment, which reality are you? Aren't you not this here?
Yes.
You are this here.
Yes.
This is not existent, or it is also here?
Well, it's shifting all the time.
Okay, but is it something wrong with this?
No.
It appears in here, no?
Yes.
As bodily sensation, as feelings, sensations, thoughts. So this here, this you, is all the time, isn't it? Is beyond even time, let's say, because
Yes.
time happens in it. But this is shape which just takes different shapes. Is anything wrong with these shapes?
No, right now it doesn't matter whatever happens.
It doesn't matter, but what
No.
are you doing that it doesn't matter? This is very important. What are you doing right now so it doesn't matter? You have to get that, what you are doing at the moment, so it completely doesn't matter, because you have to bring it to all your life.
Yes.
So what are you doing then?
Mm. I'm just here.
Yeah, you are just here.
Yes.
And your focus probably is not only in this.
No.
You are not taking this as everything. So learn right now. Make use of this moment. How you make it happen so this is less important.
I speak to you.
At the moment you speak to me, but I'm not speaking something new to you. I'm reflecting something what you know, but I'm just reflecting. I'm pointing for you to just check.
Yes.
Checking.
But it seems it's when I'm in satsang or when I'm at home just sitting or listening to satsang at home, or then it.
But it can be excuse.
Yes.
It can be excuse. So some people have this easiness at the beginning with the teacher or just watching the satsang. But it's not a purpose to have the teacher non-stop with you or watch satsang 24 hours 7, because satsang and meditation is non-stop anyways, but somehow we forget it.
Yes. So
We
how
just-
do I not forget it?
Exactly. How do you not forget it?
Yes.
This is the thing. How are you doing it in the moment?
I'm not remembering.
This is very good to say it also to your brain. I'm not grasping anything. I'm not holding into anything. I'm not trying to memorize anything. I'm simply here. Am I like emanating energy to you so you can take it and look how great is that?
No.
We are just, it's like I'm a guy with a gun right now. The satsang teacher is a guy with the gun and just comes to your, school and has a gun here and just like self-inquiry. Easy. Super easy. Super easy. No? And then it's taken away and you have to use it yourself. The wave will be completely flowing different direction. They will come to say you opposite. The world will come, the people will come, the conditioning will come, the circumstances will come to say you completely opposite. You are body, you are mind, you are person. The feelings are the most important. And we can bring a power inside, which is just a clarity of seeing. It's just not buying the mind bubble. And make it all simple. Like this, like now.
Yes, it seems very simple right now.
And satsang, a life inquiry is for us to see how it happens. Really. It's see how it happens. How am I easy so much now? How is this easy now and it wasn't yesterday or the day before? So it's like we are training our muscles of self-inquiry and we can use them in any circumstances. When the feelings and conditioning and the memory comes with the old shape, with well-known taped, you know how to treat this. You know how not to buy the mind thoughts. This is the purpose. And when you win it yourself, when you win this battle yourself, by yourself, you'll feel free. You'll feel freer and freer with this. And really the only purpose, because you will never have non-stop the teacher with you or satsang with you non-stop. It's rare to have this reminder non-stop. But this is enough that we are meeting from time to time and the food is given. The pointing is given. So this is our turn now to use what is given, what is so easy remembered during the satsang, so easy. Known. Make it known in other circumstances also. And then you're free. And we are not even knowing how we are doing it, but it's obvious, no? Otherwise, we sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for looking at me and telling me or asking me how I was.
Yeah. Sometimes have to do it.
Even though I didn't like it.
I know. I know.
I just wanted to run away.
Very often we have to go against our well-known habits and behaviors. It's good to go sometimes against. I'm shy, but so what else?
Does it work?
It works. It's just recording.
Okay. To what you've been speaking about now, that because when I'm home, not in satsang, I can even construct some questions I could use when I'm here. But then, now while we are sitting here, as you say, they are totally gone. What can I ask? What can I ask? But then it's like nothing is important. And that's really wonderful to be in this space.
But this is wonderful, but let us add one more thing to it. I know that satsang works like this. There is question disappearing, always good. But let add this active part of ourselves to see why.
Exactly.
You know, to see why. Because if you don't use this active part, you satsang finish and here you are again.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this active part is to see why. And the answer is quite simple. Because here, mind is not our God. Mind here is not our God. Here, mind is nothing. Nobody takes it seriously. Nobody gives it so much importance. But when the satsang finishes, seems the God is there again. Here I come and here I rule. Everything what mind, every idea it has to be important. It has to be believed. It has to be realized. It has to be followed. And we think that by following this we are getting somewhere. But we are just escaping. And here it's simple because mind is not our God. So, in a way, there is mind or no mind.
Yeah.
No mind, it doesn't mean that the mind completely doesn't exist. It might exist, but it's just not our God. We don't treat it that seriously as in life. We have an idea and we really have to fulfill this idea. Or I have a problem and I really have to overcome this problem because this problem is real. I mean, at the moment we could talk about these problems. Are they real so much? Why they are not so real? Because we are not treating them as real. They are in the background, somewhere far, far, far away. And what is in the foreground? It's natural state. Presence, just simple beingness. So it's naturally when the attention goes into the presence, into this bigger perspective, something which was in front goes down, and this is felt. Naturally it's felt. This is somewhere, or you even don't perceive it at all. But satsang finishes and it seems the opposite. This is like screaming and you completely forget that there is a distance to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that exactly I think all of us want to be like you showed before, here. Not always here or here, but here in the middle. So it is the challenge, the big challenge to find the level, or do I need to sit in satsang every day, or to live a life where I don't take the mind as the real?
Yes, in a way, yes, but it's not so complicated. It's not difficult. It's really, and if we will be training ourselves in satsang to see the subtle movement and really to see when I feel good, when I don't feel good. Usually I feel good when I'm not listening to the mind, when the mind is really in the background, and I feel bad when it's in the foreground. So something this active part of us is necessary, because we can sit, and it's awakening for free, as I said at the beginning, but just bring it a little bit active part of yourself. Why is that? And not to have an answer, but to have an experience. How is that? Because only then you will know, and only then you will go back home, and you will have power not to be overwhelmed by the mind.
So you say to be better to question the mind.
To discriminate what is permanent and what is coming and going while this is happening. So not to have it solved once for good, but being actively in satsang non-stop. Because you said at the beginning, okay, satsang finish and then this. Satsang starts and then this. There is no such a thing as beginning or end of satsang. This is what our mind does only.
Yeah, because life can be satsang.
Life is satsang.
Satsang, oh yeah.
Life is satsang. I mean, our background is satsang. Our background is meditation. We are meditation and we are satsang. This is real. And we treat it as an experience for 2 hours. Or when we watch the satsang or something. Mind does it this way, but if we stay with it longer, we see that actually everything happens in satsang. Everything is satsang. And then it's a little bit different. So why is it happening that I don't feel it anymore? And it's that simple as the mind is taking over. That's why we are saying on meditations, so observe the thoughts, observe the feelings, observe what comes and goes. It's not to observe. It's never said to observe, because observation is nothing so much fun, but to see that things are coming and going, and you are. Things are coming and going, and you are. Something is. And resting in this what is. And not giving yourself fully in what is blinking from time to time. And in this sense, this is active. If we want satsang, here I come. Here I am, if you want that. You know what I mean? I'm taking it for myself, then. If I want it, here I am, always waiting. Always waiting.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Maybe we open the door a little bit more. It's quite hot inside. So what else, guys? How are you?
Something about this active and passive touched me.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good, or I can feel the power in that, being active. Yeah, and then I noticed something. I have a feeling that I can tend to. I think I'm observing something, but in a way I'm withdrawing a little bit. instead of leaning more into life and being awake, or what you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what
Yeah,
I mean?
I think I do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then what comes up for me is that, especially in relationship, how easily I can lose myself when old memories are triggered, and then I'm just wondering about it, how, because it feels like I can't help it, you know, whoop, then I'm in it, and all the emotions arises, and yeah, I'm just wondering if maybe I can let it happen but not be so involved in it at the same time.
Yes.
And instead of trying to
Hold
control it, or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering about how I can be active while all this is happening, or because it seems like it's not about trying to
Distance too much
from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not developing a special attitudes. You know, the special attitudes it's a definition of duality. It's a definition of double suffering. I mean, our conditioning, it's a suffering enough to leave it. No? Our conditioned mind is enough suffering to experience it, isn't it? But what's happening on top of that is our idea to develop special attitudes towards the conditioning even. So it's like double suffering, you know?
Yeah.
So there is experience, there is an object. We all experience, love, are you sleeping? There is an object which are happening, and there is somebody who have a relationship with an object. And there is awareness. So there is object and there is awareness. Let's leave it this way. Let's leave it the simple way. But the somebody who has an attitude towards the objects, what is this? This is this double suffering.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of work somehow.
It feels a lot of work, a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
A lot of, bad feelings, like, am I good, am I wrong, am I doing well, or what's wrong with me, why is like this? Yeah. And this is this middle part, which is imagined personality, imagined ego. This is this definition of duality, and this is here. So how to get rid of it, or how to understand it? The only way we can do it is to see it as it is. So there is a conditioning loop of, as you said, automatic behavior. And there is also this attitude towards the behavior, which is also a mental reaction.
Yeah, like it should not be like that.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's another reaction.
Yeah.
So it's another mind loop. About whom is this? Is it real? Is this something, is it like real entity in this, or this is just a thought? How do you see it? Is it a thought, or you have a feeling it's something like real?
It's a mechanism.
Yeah, but can you perceive it that it has an independent existence?
And what?
Independent existence? Can you show me this now?
No.
So sometimes it activates, no? And sometimes it's quiet.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So it comes and go. So it's when it comes, in what form it comes?
As emotion.
As emotion, as a thought.
Yeah.
Something like as a sensation.
Yeah.
as a vibration, which is felt.
Yeah.
So this what is felt is an object.
Yeah.
And this object which we often call ourselves. But how ridiculous is that? We call ourselves interpretation. We call ourselves guilt. We call ourselves pride, worry, expectation. All of these things we call ourselves.
Yeah.
And we believe that it's about somebody. We believe it's about this body. But this is a conditioning loop, and this on top of it some mind interpretation, which is about no one, about non-existent entity. So this is crazy. This is definition of duality. And when we are still, or when we are satsang, when you inquire, you can see that all of it, guilt, pride, worries, expectation, ego, and conditioning, all conditioning, these are all same objects. All of it is objects of your perception, all objects of awareness. And they have, there is nothing more or less into them. They are all equal same. So none of this feeling is actually about you. Can it be? Can it be this feeling about you? This feeling is about conditioning. It's a reaction for the conditioning. And this itself also becomes a conditioning later on. And then. But who's listening to all of it? About whom is that? We cannot find about whom. Can we? We cannot find about whom is this. So it's just talking, interpretation, reaction, non-stop reaction. So how to not be caught up by this reaction? Yes, and now how not to be these reactions non-stop? It's just by the clarity of seeing that you are here right now. You are listening and you really embrace it, and you see this is an object, this is an object, this is an object, this is an object, this is all of it, these are objects.
Yeah, it's like I mistake sometimes the reaction
for yourself.
Awareness somehow, or like, but it's a control. It's more, I think now I'm just being aware of the reaction, but in a way I'm trying to control it or something like that.
Yeah, it's also reaction.
Yeah,
you know, because you experience something and you don't want to experience this, so maybe I will be aware so I don't feel it later.
Yeah.
So it's the same mechanism of the mind.
Yeah.
So to see it, we have to be still. Some part of us have to be still and patient for the movie, the chapter of the movie to unfold and to finish the lesson.
Yeah.
Till the end, and not to cut it in the middle, because if we cut it in the middle, we didn't fully see it. We didn't fully embrace what is object and what is not. So only by being still inside.
So do you mean like if you are in a drama, for example, that you don't try to act with it somehow, that you to go inside instead, or
in the drama, so drama is happening. Let's say drama is happening, but something is not involved in the drama. So on the surface, it might feel like the drama is there is only drama and nothing else. But it's only on the surface, the drama. Inside, nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. And it's not about controlling the drama. If you control the drama, you will add drama into the drama. Always.
Yeah.
You will try to be the best example of yourself. You will be a good girl who will, develop the greatest attitude. but you'll be so tired.
Yeah.
And you'll be still, identified with the body. So the only way to get rid of a drama is just by your seeing and not identifying with it. And just seeing things as they are. Objects are objects, you are you. Objects happen in you, and you simply are all the time. And not staying with intellectual understanding of it also, but experiential. So right now, something constantly listens to what is being happening right now. And this is you. And the drama can happen. Our satsang talk now is a drama. Let's say this is drama. She's talking, these things are happening, But deep part of ourselves is simply here. Not so much involved, but also not passive. When it's passive, the forefront is the mind. So we will never get rid of the drama by one of its, characters. If we will navigate with characters, we have a lot of work, endless. Perfection, perfection, perfection. But something will be never satisfied with it. So the only way to wake up is to leave it as it is, but withdraw your attention from where it all springs from and what is underneath of all.
I notice like a deeper exhaustion as we speak, which seems like that double. You said something about the double suffering or something. That the reaction on it's like it's coming up or something that I.
Yeah, because the mind is in the resistance to it.
Yeah.
The mind is in the resistance to it. There is some subtle part of us which is in resistance to it, which really doesn't want to hear it this way, because we are speaking here about something quite radical, where all dramas are sacrificed for.
What?
Where all dramas are, sacrificed, and dramas is our food. Drama is our food. It's easier to create drama than to stay with nothing. Yeah. It's much easier to create drama than stay with nothing. Stay with nothing for the mind, it's the worst. But then we are accustomed to it and it feels really okay. So this thing which I said in the middle, which comes in between object and awareness, this double suffering, just this part is very suspicious, and just be conscious of these parts, because this is the most funny parts, and they create the most of suffering of the world.
Which part did you say?
The interpreter of what's happening.
Yeah.
The attitudes towards things. Belief in goodness in this, in rightness. Because it creates separation. Separation meaning that there is separate me entity which has to do something here on this planet and has to be good. Has to be good. Has to be right. Shouldn't make mistakes.
Which is a conditioning also. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I'm working with children, and at the moment there are two girls which are 10 years old, and they are having conflicts all the time. And then we talk with them once a week, but now they are so much into these talks, you know.
with three of you, yeah?
There are these two girls, so we try to help them a little. But at the moment, I'm wondering, am I really helping this? Because
they like it so much.
They like it so much. And
yeah.
But they actually don't want to solve it. You know, they just want the drama. I can feel how much they want the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can also feel in myself how I have to really, I can easily go into that with them also, because they pull me in a way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's entertaining, no? It's quite entertaining. The worlds of meanings. What is right, how it is actually, the interpretation of how it is. We could create a lot here.
Yeah, it becomes very visible how it gives energy somehow to keep going in that.
Yeah, and for us to watch, how do I feel when I go there?
Yeah.
You know, okay, we do it, and how do I feel when I go in this? In satsang, our responsibility is to see, to know, because if we not investigate that, we'll be flowing with this unconsciously. Our whole life it will be unconscious. It's just blah, 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 non-stop. But with this discrimination, we can see, okay, when I go there, actually, what's happening? I suffer. This is the unconscious suffering. Later, a little bit conscious. It becomes a little bit conscious, but this is still suffering. Life is suffering this way. And when it is not, to discover this during the satsang, when it is not suffering, when I'm involved so much, no, when there is no interpretator of how it should be, or I'm not a victim of my patterns. I'm not a victim of my wants, of my desires, of my projections, of my rejections. By sitting still, by being still to see these processes happening, we are gaining this wisdom and this freedom. It's just, you know, it's like really watching the movie and allowing life to show us this chapter till the end, because we are so impatient that we are not waiting till the end of this chapter. There will be another chapter, but there is many unfinished ones. Many unfinished ones. Because we, on the way, the chapter, let's say 7, is here, and while watching chapter 7, on the way in the movie, something was so entertaining, so amazing, that we fell in love with this, and we ran after this for a while. We thought it's over, but it wasn't. So this chapter 7 has to be repeated again and again and again and again and again and again until I watched chapter 7 till the end. Oh, so nice. So let's have chapter 8. Until this body mind also and this organism learns. You just sit. You just sit. You just do nothing. You just stay as the self, as the unmoving one. And then you watch chapter 8. Chapter 8 comes. It plays. And you watch it, chapter 8. Chapter 9, it just stays in this. Chapter 10 wants to come, but you are simply here. And this is how you get to know who you are. Really. By your patience, by your not following the mind. by not shopping with the mind first invitations. Because mind is just a temptation to follow these fights, to follow this. And then you are so happy by watching all the chapters that you are not leaving the cinema at all. You're just there watching. And you're happy. So this is also the way life is testing itself. Life is learning itself. Not about something. Because only then we can really know this experiential and real nothingness. Only then we can conquer the nothingness which is not a thing, the teaching which is not a teaching, which is not that. It's completely alive. Only then we know the silence by being the silence. And this is not just a sentence. Then the sentence becomes the reality, and we know it always was like that. But we didn't have eyes to see it this way before. It's like when you win the battle with your mind, with some one of the weakness we have. When we win the battle with the mind, with something, we know how much strength it gives, and we know how it is inside to win this battle. And with awakening, it's a little bit the same. You really know how it is to be really not driven by your own mind, by your own temptation, by your own desires, by your own projections. It is like being a king in the top of the world. All of this comes, and you don't have special attitudes, but you feel so good that you just don't want it. Or you take it if it's given. Everything is given. But not like you are super happy or you're super sad. It's all the same. Because all is you. And you don't discriminate, and you don't choose special you and better you. You are happy with what you're getting.
So then I wonder how you can be a help to fighting girls like that. If that's, it feels like, yeah, I have to not talk to the drama at least, you know?
Or just not interfere too much.
Yeah.
Or just not interfere too much. Don't give yourself in there. Because, yeah. Or sometimes, spontaneously some reaction might happen.
Yeah.
But you cannot know what.
Yeah.
It's not for us to know what, because if we know, we are screwed from the beginning.
Yeah.
The knowing, it's against.
Yeah.
And then we can be really open. Then we are open, so life will reveal and will solve this. How, we don't know, but it will manage.
Yeah.
Because we take this responsibility, that this is our responsibility. But did we ever succeed in this? I mean, are we so good that we really know what is the best for them? Or how to do it? I cannot say it in my experience, even once, that I really knew. I could feel I know, but I didn't. It was quite a big arrogance to say I know. But for us, it's like there is tremendous fear to give life possibility to act like this. As we yesterday, I don't know who of you were, some of you were in satsang, there is a huge fear for us not to control and not to take responsibility on mind level. But if now we could just stay 5 minutes without control, then you could hear me. Then these words are landing elsewhere. They are not landing for you. They are landing somewhere else. Because they are not for our personalities. They are from our personalities. So if we could for 5 minutes just leave everything as it is, thus the world ends up. This is this openness. And then, usually, the needed reactions, which if will be necessary, it will happen. Like you naturally know when to take the breath. If you shut your mouth, after a while, the body will take the breath. And same with the reactions. If something will be needed, it will be given. But for the mind, it's scary. But we don't have to, take it the way, okay, so from now on I'll be that open, completely open every little second of my life. If you don't want to jump so far, you try with small period. Try whole class like this and see what's happened. Try 5 minutes during the satsang. Try 5 minutes daily by yourself, home. Make it this into your practice. 5 minutes of no control. This is huge, really huge practice. 5 minutes of no control. So we are sitting with nothing. No control, it's not buying your thoughts. Not finding them entertaining. Otherwise, I'm sitting for 5 minutes meditating, like mindfulness people often do, meditating. But what's happening in there is just control. It's only control. I'm very mindful controlling freak for 5 minutes. It doesn't make any difference. There is impact of it when you are not buying what's happening there and when you are really resting beyond that. And it doesn't mean that the mind will stop. It might be active, but some of your energy is not buying this. It's not taking this as your God. And in other words, you are not controlling for this 5 minutes blessings of this 5 minutes of no control. And usually during this 5 minutes, we can find like, okay, we are sitting with, there will be actions like this all the time. Because this is our habit. This is the only thing we know. This is the way we know life. To know that different way is safe, we have to try it. And satsang is also for that. So we try in safe environment. When we have also teacher who can hold it in case something scary happens. And then we see, oh my God, it's so close and it's so actually easy. And this is the way we gain the power. So the mind is less powerful and our beingness we find our being as being more powerful than the mind. When I first tried it, I was very disappointed. I was so disappointed because it was against what I hoped to be. I was really hoping that awakening and this is gonna be something really for me. And I was like, there was a big expectation towards awakening, huge expectation towards awakening, and I was like high with this, high, very, very, very high. And on the way when I was high, it was landing, sadness, disappointment, like, oh wow, oh no. And then I found myself sitting, just sitting. And after a while, I was like, oh my gosh, I would never ever expect that. It was absolutely on the different side of what I expected. Everything what I expected with awakening was here, and it was absolutely opposite. On the other side. So this bodily felt grief, sadness, anger, disappointment, all of it on the way. And I didn't want that. I don't want this kind of awakening. I don't want this. It's not fun. It's really not fun. I want super awakening, great awakening, tantra awakening, love awakening, wisdom awakening, Advaita awakening, God awakening, amazing awakening. And it was all taken away slowly, slowly. And I was fighting it. It's normal. And then just sitting with nothing. And to whom to say even about it? There was nobody to share it. Nobody you could relate to say about it, about really nothing. Ultimate disappointment for the mind. And after a while only, this felt better than anything else. But not the way I could ever imagine. Because it's really like dying, giving away everything, and staying really with nothing, and having nobody in the world to understand it. Nobody. And not being able to turn back. There is no possible to turn back into having something. This is the worst. I'm now telling you guys my poor awakened life experience. There is no way back in this also. But it's also fun. Maybe it doesn't sound like this. Everybody should leave now. That would be just, No problem. But actually, this is also the proof. What I'm speaking now. This is a proof that this is really not in our hands. And this is not for us. It's not for us, and it's not in our hands. We are not ruling this. If it was up to me, I promise you, it would look differently. It would look 100% on this side, 180 on this side, completely different. Fun. Mind stuff. Fun mind stuff, projection. But this is life which rules all of it. The tempo of our awakening, and how and when and what. It's not us doing this. This is, yeah.
Yes, so with the control part, what comes up is that I see this seeker inside, or this one who does the efforting.
Yes.
To try and get it.
Yes, of course. Yes, go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
I want it. I want to catch it. I want to hold it. I want to understand it. So I see this.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the difficult part, because I see it. But what comes up is that I feel like the mind is using my body in a way that it gives a lot of pressure inside, up here, like really
this is important,
greasing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that is more difficult, because the thoughts and this playing out is seen, but with the physical pain, and it can almost be to the degree of almost feel like knocked out.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's like it feels a bit like a battle, because at the same time there is this sensing into this, just totally relaxing, just being here, not expecting anything, just being here, and actually being, it's good here, and it's like just feeling this space from here, and just and then it's this tense, like, and it just pulls more strength into
the seeking.
Like or it's placing more into the body, more pain into the body. As more as I'm able to rest and open, as more this just starts, and it really so that's
it's universal. It's universal, really. The pattern is always the same. So, I mean, because let's make it less personal, meaning it's not your story. Okay, for a moment, let's see what she says as a scientist, whatever. Okay, so you see, the more you are in this easiness, there is a big part of contraction in the head. Okay, so it can be a contraction in the head, and the more of presence, the more of contraction. It can be like this. But it is a many form of manifestation. It can be tiredness. It can be heart attack. It can be like tragedy in the family suddenly. It can be sleepiness. There is many reactions of the mind, of resistance of the mind towards it, you know. This is just this. But if we make this story personal, oh my God, why is she having like this? Why she has it this way? There is really nothing interesting to be made from that. Only mind could make it. Very interesting. And the mind can create the meaning. Oh, I have this way. I have this way, and what to do, you know. I know what you say there, but what can I do with my stuff? Stuff is the stuff, everywhere the same. There is just different expression of stuff. So in here is the contraction in the head for a moment. In somebody's experience, it will be heart attack. In somebody's will be laziness or whatever. So let's us not make anything out of it. But it's very often that the greater seeing, the greater openness and naturalness, there is powers which are, you know, like not accustomed to it that well, temporarily. Because now if we make this contraction into something, we are again following the illusion a little bit too much. But you emphasize on this easiness and easiness. The contractions is loosening its grip by itself. So I know this second way working best. All else is just playing with illusion.
Yeah, so maybe just being aware of, yeah, as you say, just being in this easiness, just focusing on the easiness, the attention there, and then when it gets, because now it's like really it's getting strong, but as you say, not turning it into something that I identify with or create something like that's me, but maybe also to see that there's a part of the mind that wants to have something. Just see it, like just being aware.
Are you surprised? I'm not surprised.
Yeah, this specialness to have something, just to see it and just to see that's just a movement. It's not personal.
It's not personal. No. Yeah, and not make this into something big, because it's not. Because we can only create it big. It's just a contraction.
But sometimes when the pain is very strong, there is this sense that I cannot connect to the... It's
not true.
Is it also like a...
It's a play. You can't connect always. It's a play of the mind.
Okay.
It's a play of the mind.
Yeah.
I once discovered like the profundity of giving yourself focus into the satsang. One on my first satsang was in Ireland many years ago, and I had removed my wisdom teeth to remove wisdom teeth, and there was really terrible infection on both sides, which was like I had like open blood there, and it wasn't healing for a long time. And I had such a pain that I would never imagine that this kind of pain is possible, and it was like this for a month. So nothing was healing in there. And I was like really almost dying with this pain. The giving a birth, it was really nothing to compare into this. And I went for satsang, and I didn't know much about satsang that time. It was almost nothing. And I was sitting on the satsang, and I noticed that during the satsang I don't feel this pain at all. Satsang finished, immediately pain. So I went a couple of times for satsang, and during satsang I didn't feel that pain, and I was like, what is this? Really weird. Why am I not feeling this? Why? Because satsang finished, as you said, satsang finished, and there was a mind, and there was objects, and that was my main object screaming. And I gave this object a lot of attention. And it was objectively painful. I'm not saying it wasn't, but somehow during the satsang I was able, unconsciously even, not being focused on this so much, so I didn't feel pain at all. So when Ramana Maharishi had his cancer removed on his open hand without any painkiller, nothing, he didn't feel this pain. Why? He didn't feel this pain that much because he was not so much involved in this. We are entertaining our thoughts, our feelings, our contractions, our energy. We are very drawn into these energies. And our only job is to go back to the source. And not to feel these things. They might be still there, you know, you might be, even now we can talk and you can have a pain. So what? It's nothing. It's really nothing.
What also comes is that because I see this, that you can get your attention up here and then you can make it stay in that sense with your attention. But then I'm also how to build up more muscles to actually stay in yourself, you know, in here. Because I've been reflecting upon that. Because focusing, it's like, it's not about focusing. It's like it's just happened. It's like moments, it's just happened, and it's just, and it's more about really relaxing in that sense without not changing anything. But
Yes.
it's just, so it's not something active, but it's not passive at the same time. It's just, but it's so, because then the mind comes again a little bit in and tries to catch hold of
To
it
help.
and, yeah, to help. And so it's just, I'm really, you know, reflecting upon this too, because when I'm really just resting as this beingness, it doesn't matter, you know. But when I'm not in sensing that beingness or resting as that, then this is easier, getting easy disturbed. So I'm like, how to really draw away. That's really my, yeah.
Yeah, but you will conquer it only when you experience winning with it.
Yeah.
You cannot pass this exam theoretically. We cannot pass this exam theoretically. It's not possible. You know, so I know how it is with isness. Okay, I'm having exam on satsang. This is my paper. Okay, isness is here, awareness is here, or is good, or is well. Yes. I mean, it's on the level of the mind, but it's about the level of your own inquiry and seeing. And conquering this seeing is like, okay, I'm sitting still and I see thoughts passing by. I'm not this thought. I see emotion passing by. I'm not this emotion. Then I'm seeing another layers. There is a perception passing by. There is a perception passing by. I'm perceiving perception. Perception is perceived. So, okay, so even if perception is perceived, I'm not the perception. So I have to rest even deeper. So I'm conscious of consciousness. Another layer of the mind. Another layer of the mind. So many of these layers has to pass by for me to see that I'm not one of them. So even the mind observation is another layer. I'm observing what's happening. I'm trying to let go. The same. I'm letting go now. I'm doing letting go now. But letting go is not a doing. So I let go now. Oh my God, am I letting go right or not? Is it right letting go? So much work in letting go. Until something naturally start to understand what does it mean. When Papaji said, make no effort, this is no effort. So until you see these layers, where the mind is just dressing up different dress, you will not know what it is. We will never not know it without experiencing this background as the background. So these many layers are passing by and many tries of the mind to pretend I'm the self and I'm doing well. I know how to let go. And then it's easy. And then you know. You know. And how you know? Because you are this knowing. And what also comes from that? Happiness, peace, easiness, naturalness. And then and you know what it is. You know what it is. And you're patient. But not as somebody who is patient. You see somebody who is patient and you said, out. I'm not somebody being patient also. I'm not even somebody who is perfect in letting go. I'm not that. So these layers are dancing in you. They are coming and trying to, introduce how beautiful they are. And you're not buying them. Because you're witness to them. And then you're resting more and more. So this is transcendence. This all invitation will come and will try to dance its dance, and for you to dance with it. But you don't have, you are just there. And this is enough. Isn't that funny that this is enough? Our mind doesn't believe this is enough. Our mind would like this to be, that something will be enough, maybe, sometime. So it's just staying with nothing. You have no teaching. You have no security in the memory, in the practice also. The ultimate practice is this, letting go of everything. And not buying anything also. Not buying any attitude. Many attitudes will come. How to live life and what is good. What is good especially. And you don't have to buy none of it. Because this all belongs to the mind. And you just hear. And there is nothing better than the other. All the same. This expression, that expression, that expression. They will be just passing by. And you're just here. This is like when we call this to be naked, not to dress anything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Am I speaking too abstract or like crazy or not? No? Not crazy? No. Because I'm sometimes listening to myself talking and I wonder, I told you yesterday, I mean, do they hear me? Do they hear me? That's good. How are you?
I'm good.
Ah. Oh, my legs. So if there is no question, we can actively inquire in meditation for the end today. So what can it happen now to break happiness? What can happen now to break the happiness which is here? To break the peacefulness which is here? How we could, like start feeling bad now? What could happen? Here comes a thought. Panic thought, and we are, oh my God, look! And everybody here, look, yeah, look at that! And we all, as a group, we can follow that. That could be a case, no? It could be thought, it could be feeling, it could be sensation. And we'll be all deluded by that. Because we will see the object, and we'll take object as true, and we will be afraid of this object. But if some of us is rooted in just in simple beingness, knowing that the simplicity of us is just being here, then even when the object comes, something might not be disturbed so much. So find this undisturbed place. And when I say to find it, you will find it by not moving. You will find it by not moving. Because there is no step to it. There is no step to you. So only by stopping doing, you see that this is so. Already. So you are finding by not finding, but being already. So they call it non-phenomenal recognition because it's non-findable. Notice that everything you could find right now will be found in you. So it can be no more you. It's enough of you. You are not in specific place. You are not in specific attitude. You are not the object. Objects are in you. Movement is in you. You are not moving. Find this peace this way. It is peace which recognizes the peace. It is unmovable which recognizes unmovable. And don't sleep now. See the profundity of yourself. Vastness, transparency, everywhereness. can anything be outside of you? How far is this sound from you? How far is the bird from you? How far is the thought from you? So we are not using our mind to interpret these things. You use your direct experience. Is it far? Aren't you hearing this within yourself? Is it separate from you? Is my voice separate from you? Or you hear it in you as a part of your experience, as the part of yourself. Can the stillness be not? Is anything possible without it? Is the movement possible without it? The sound without the silence? So we could treat all the object as the sounds of our experience. But to whom the sounds appear, if it's not a silence? Can they be separate from silence? Is silence disappearing when they are heard? Can the silence finish or start? Does the silence start with your birth or with your death? Does this silence has anything to do with your body and the mind? Does the silence suffer your birth or death? How far is the silence? Can you be not made of it? Can you not be silence in essence? In tune yourself with the self, the silence, and be free and happy. Not as imagination, but as reality. You are not recognizing silence by the mind. You are recognizing silence as the silence. And mind has nothing to do with it. Like the sound. It springs from silence. All is silence in the essence, even the sound. Even the body, even the mind. Recognize yourself as that. Beyond what you think right now, beyond what you imagined right now. See from where this imagination and thinking happens. And stay there. See that this is your home, the only home, the only resting place, which is constantly available. The happiness is constantly available. Go to the origin. To the beginning and to the end. Beyond birth and death. Beyond everything you ever known or experienced. Let the interest of the world and mind expire for a moment. Let yourself expire with your interest, with your desires and projections. Let it expire for a moment. Like there was no time more for these things. like you've done everything, like everything had happened. And now you can rest. Now it's time for you to find rest and peace. See how easy, how close, direct. I'm not doing this meditation for us to go to the space or to some special place, or to withdraw and not to feel anything. Because somebody might believe it's better than something else. I'm saying those words only to show you what's your nature. What are you? And how available is that? And how beautiful is that? How resting. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't put yourself condition when you will be able to do it. You have this moment. Drink it fully. Be free now. Transcend the mind now by not buying its invitations. Don't postpone your freedom. Don't put other gods before you. And whenever you feel it's a journey or it's a doing, it's only because the mind has its interpretation of it. Don't buy it. There is no step to be done. Only your stillness. To hear those words and find them your own. Because actually you are speaking to yourself right now. So take them this way. Because there is no me and you here. There is only you. And from this perspective, me and you is one and the same. Openness, transparency, awareness, no thing. In that sense, we are same. Not similar, because it's not two people similar. It's just one. There is no variation in there, in essence. There is no difference in essence. There is no two essence. The essence is not mine or yours. It's not a private property, the essence. Private is the mind. And mind is perceived. So you know this is not you. Stand this investigation. Don't run away. Don't react with the thoughts. See that the listening happens from the same place the words are happening. This is one and the same. What mind could do right now, it will create next, and next, and next, and next. Don't go there. It's not about any assumption we can give now. It's not about any summary it can be given. None of the summary can be given. It will always belong to the mind. None of the description can be given. It will always belong to the mind. Knowing that, rest as the peace itself. Stop creating. Stop the search. Let it expire. in your seeing. When we are practicing for a while, not controlling, we can apply this for a moment, for 2-3 minutes. So find yourself in non-controlling place for 3 minutes, where you are not managing, where you know nothing and you want nothing. And you do nothing. Start. You see, it doesn't stop the universe. It's safe. Openness is safe. Not knowing is safe. And the only truth. In the Bible it was said that you will not cross the heaven kingdom if you will not become as a child again. It means if you will not be that open. Openness, it's not knowing. Openness, it's fresh. It's not based on memory and imagination. It doesn't mean also we have to prescribe some special attitude. No attitude is needed. It's just emptying the mind by not buying it. So we slowly close the satsang. Thank you. And I wish you a beautiful evening, beautiful day today, and if you could practice this, what we've been told today, the not knowing, these things which resonated with you, which you found working. So you practice this a little bit by yourself to see how it works, how much you can conquer yourself, how much you can conquer the mind. So tomorrow when we will be sharing, I'll be curious to know how it goes. Because as we said today many times, it's about finding satsang in any circumstances, not to be coming and going, not like that. Okay? So, and this practice of not knowing anything, just sitting with nothing and not doing anything for a couple of minutes, will be also nice to do. Just to play and see the profundity of this exercise.